Hello, good morning, good evening, good morning, good Nargan, good day to all of our listeners around the world for
bonsoir, buenos dias.
Oh, nice customer experience R&R with my good self Richard Knight
and my good self Ryan Huxtable. Now, the reason we're talking in various tongues today is because we've got some very exciting news to share with all of you. We have had international recognition of our podcast, so I'd like to put a big shout out to our listeners in the United States, but particularly Emma Miller and Matthew Selby, and also to Daniela Guerrero, I hope I've got that right, and Ken Peterson. Now, Matthew and Ken are hopefully going to appear on a future podcast, and they're going to give us the view of CX from the other side of the pond, which you always think is quite interesting, because America is seen as this bastion of service, is it not, Mr. Knight? So it'd be great to get those guys on. So to Matthew, Ken, Daniela, Emma, lovely to hear from you. Thanks for reaching out to us. Keep sharing and commenting so we get even more international recognition. And a big shout out to Fraser from Acronyms, who listens to us regularly down in little old Plymouth as well.
That's it. You see, that's even bigger. That's a bigger piece, isn't it? You know, from down that neck of the woods. And in fact, I bumped into Fraser at an expo only a couple of weeks ago. So the fame hit me. The fact that somebody does listen to what we're warbling on about, a bit of a bonus, isn't it? That was nice. But yes, no, he finds the podcasts most entertaining and enlightening and insightful. What a good word to have, eh? What a good word.
Yeah, I've never been described as insightful before, so he must mean you, Rich.
Yeah, that's it. Absolutely, of course. So it's July. It's hotting up. In fact, this is the day after the 2-day heat wave, 40 degrees plus. Whew.
Oh, yeah.
Feeling hot.
Yeah.
They say, somebody says.
Do you know what was interesting? I was expecting it to get hot down here in Devon, and it got up to about 28, I think. And I had this text from my brother who was in Warwick at work, and it was 38.5 degrees. I'm like, wowzers.
Yeah, we Salisbury got up to about, I think it was 34, 35, something like that. So yeah, easy life. You see, it wasn't a problem at all. It's not a problem. But the holiday piece is obviously coming into play now as all the schools start to finish up. So that got us thinking, didn't it? See, we started thinking now about these holiday periods, isn't it? And who's going off on holiday when? Do you remember to put your out of office on? And what impact does all this stuff have on your customers? So that got us thinking about that and thought, well, let's have a little bit of a warble about that today.
So, yeah, it's a really good point you make. I've been doing quite a lot of work recently with a couple of really large professional service firms, and we've been looking at their client journey and looking at where things go really well, and then looking at things where perhaps they fall over. And those basics you mentioned, Rich, around good out of office management, good directional messaging to clients of who can help them when their key contact may be out of the office on holiday. But we all need a break, don't we? But this is, I've been chatting to a number of my clients as well, and just talking about trying to book appointments in, and they're all like, we're away and we're on holiday. And but I had a really good experience actually. I was reaching out to a client who we do some work for every year, and this particular individual I reach out to, Katie McKenna at GA Solicitors, is away on maternity leave, bless her. And I fully expected to get a bounce back and not be able to get through, but her marketing exec got right back to me, and we had a great conversation. That was just a really good example of when those really basic communication channels aren't forgotten about. So it's a really good point you raise. I also think that when we go on holiday, we all need a break, and if we don't have a break, we don't become great at what we do we? You need that downtime. But it does give us the opportunity to get away and think ourselves, isn't it, about work and life, and how we want to grow our businesses or do our job better. So I wonder how many of you will be sitting on your sun lounger thinking about how you can give a better client experience.
And if you're not, why not? It's very important. No, of course not. You're going away relaxing and completely getting away from it all. So it's it's worth doing. But of course, you know, this is one of the things where you think a lot of businesses, you know, from a hospitality and attractions point of view and all of those exciting things, and retail as well, I think this is a great period of in the year for us as well. So we're full on. What are you talking about, Richard and Rhian? You know, in fact, we are concentrating on making the most out of this holiday period. So absolutely, you know, it's going to be different from sector to sector. And I think a lot of organizations who are perhaps more in those B2B or professional services side of things can unfortunately lose, you know, connection with how the customers are going to be feeling about these things. You know, the idea that we live in this 24/7 world and you can get anything at any time, yet we can still come to periods in the year where somebody goes, you know, we're out of office, gone fishing, you know, put those signs up, and then you go, okay, but when are you coming back? When are you returning? What I need my expectations managed, because we know that, and again, we've said this so many times, the likes of these big corporations who provide what you need within 24 hours like that, and they will continue to do that. Customers are comparing you to that, whether you agree with it or not. They are going, well, Amazon get me that package within 24 hours. Why can't you answer my question about my conveyancing, or I need some information about my tax from my accountant and you haven't got back to me, you know? So it's really important that, you know, that people are aware of this. And I think one of the key things is, from an internal point of view, it's an employee piece. We often talk about employees being really, really key for great customer experience. Of course they are. You know, who is aware of who's going on holiday? Who knows when people are off? Is there sight of this? And again, bigger organizations going to be more difficult. Smaller organizations, are the key staff aware of when the other members of the team are away? Do the receptionists, do the people administrators, the guys behind the scene, do they know when certain people aren't around? So when they attempt to put them through, you know, it's, oh, they're not in. Oh, well, they're not. Oh, didn't realize. Okay. You know, it just erodes a slight bit of confidence in that organization. You know, it's okay. It happens. Yeah, I get it.
It does, but your point around kind of Amazon, you know, I'm sure Amazon have to deal with holidays in their teams. I've never yet been onto Amazon to find out that they can't fulfill my order because the person that they would normally do it's on holiday. And, you know, that follows through in, you know, use the supermarkets, you know, Tesco, Sainsbury's, Lidl's, they all have people off on holiday. They all have to keep the shelves stocked. Now, of course, if you're sat there and listening to this as a lawyer or an accountant or an architect or whoever, you might be sat there thinking, well, yeah, but we're not selling widgets or bananas or, you know, bits of paper. I get that. But, and also, the other thing I would say on this is that clients are generally pretty understanding that their lawyer or their accountant or their architect needs to go away on holiday. However, they may also need to get hold of someone within the organization with an urgent question. And it comes back to the point you just made, Richard, you know, who do I contact? Who do I signpost to? You know, in the worst instance, you know, do I need to be available for that client to answer a question? And hopefully that wouldn't be the case because you'd have managed that opportunity beforehand. But it is a real challenge, I think, for lots of professional organizations to keep that continuity going. The other thing I see quite a lot of during the summer, I see it in the summer months and I see it at Christmas, interestingly, is lots of businesses, professional services particularly, lose a bit of momentum. So they lose, you know, they sort of relax and service levels drop. And, you know, there is a natural assumption that they think the clients will know that they're away on holiday. And, you know, unfortunately, that's not the case. So, you know, losing that momentum, it then takes them longer in September and in January to get back up and running and start to deliver those service levels that they've worked hard to deliver in the past. So it's a real challenge, I think. And particularly, I don't know about you, Rich, but all of my clients I'm talking to are really struggling with recruitment. So you know, when people are away on holiday, there's even less people to help clients when they're not there.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, it's that managing the expectations piece, isn't it? And what you can do, what you can't do. You know, if you've got important things, you know, you're in the middle of those important matters, or there's a project that's going on. You know, how can we set that up so that there is a, you know, the expectations are there, they're laid out, they're clear for, you know, from an internal customer point of view as well. So we're talking customer experience being particularly, you know, your externals who are paying you the money, but you know, the teams within your organization throughout the summer. There are people who do stay on and work throughout, you know, August, over here in the UK. I'm not sure quite so much over in Europe. You know, they generally sort of just, that's it, we'll, you know, completely take it off. But you know, are people aware of who is about, who isn't about, and can you get other people to come in and set that up? And I think the other thing is just to think about, you know, the simple things we sort of mentioned, you're out of offices and things like that. You know, is it set up? When's it going to start? When does it stop? A number of times you sort of, you know, get email responses in the middle of October saying, yeah, I'm away now on summer holiday until the 31st of August. I'll be back soon, type sort of thing. So, okay.
That's such a great point. Firstly, I don't know what you're suggesting about our continental cousins, but I'll come back to that. The second point I'd like to make is yeah, a real bugbear of mine is when you ring someone and their answer machine message on their mobile phone is, I'm back on the 5th of August and it's the 12th of August and they still got the same message on. So, you know, it's real simple stuff that, you know, is often overlooked because you're desperate to get away on holiday, you want the break, you know, you're trying to get up to date with your work. Think about how you're going to communicate with your clients when you're not around. It's a really, really simple process that everyone should be going through. Here endeth the lesson.
Here endeth the lesson. Oh, and on that note, I think it's time to go. Let everybody get off on holiday.
Enjoy some cider. If you're coming down west, if you're heading down to Devon and Cornwall, don't forget the lovely cider, right? Check out all that old beery rubbish and get your head round a nice glass of something local.
All right, don't be beerist. You know, if they want to drink beer, it's fine. They got some Gert Lush, you know, ales down Wiltshire and down into Dorset as well.
Yeah,
so
it's
all good. It's all good.
All good.
So thank you very much for listening, and will we be back in August? Are we going to manage expectations? We're
going to keep going, aren't we? We're going to keep going. We're not going to let the listeners down. No.
So we're going to be around, even if we finish now and record it for August. So
we should do it from our sunbeds. How about that?
That's it. We'll do that. Oh, no, it's not a good thought. Dee and me sat on sunbeds broadcasting to the world about customer experience. It'll put people off their brekkies, that's for sure. But we will be back in August. Thank you very much for listening. And don't forget to like, comment and share. And yeah, we'll see you soon. Cheers.
Bye-bye for now.